Dangal greetings, I'm Jesse Repskana. So in this video, I'm gonna discuss about the class diagram that our group made. So first is the learning management system class. So in this class, there's a attribute which is the private instructors array list instructor, private courses array list course, and then the private student array list student. And then there's a method in this class too. This is the public add instructor method, public add course method, public add student method, public assign course to instructor method, public enroll student in course method, and last is the public remove student from course. So next is this instructor class. So in this instructor class, there's a connection between the learning management system and then the instructor class, which is aggregation. And then their multiplicity is 1 is to many. So in this class, instructor class, there's a attribute which is the private ID int, private name string, private course array list course. And then next is the method of this class, which is the remove courses course, and then the public toString string, and then the public print instructor header, then the public print course list, and then the public add course. I don't include the first plus because that is a instructor, not a that's a constructor, not a method. And then next is the course class. So in this class is have the connection between learning management system and same as the instructor, their connection is aggregation also. And then the instructor and the course, there's a relationship between them, which is the aggregation and then association. So the attributes of the course is private ID int, private title string, private lesson int, private instructor, then private students array list student. And then the method is public add student, public remove student, public toString, then public course title line method, then the public print course instructor line, then the last is the public print student list. And then next class is the student class. So same as the course and the instructor class, there's a connection between learning management system and student. So the relationship between them is aggregation. And then same lang sila ng multiplicity, which is the 1 is to many. And then the course is student, there's a connection between them, which is aggregation and association. Same as the instructor and the course. So student, there's attribute which is the ID int, private ID int, private name string, private enroll course, and then the method is public is enrolled boolean, public compute fee double, public toString string, public print student line method, public print enrolled course line method, public print fee line method, and then the public print enroll status line method. And then last is the child class of the student class, which is the regular class and then the scholar student, regular student class and then the scholar student class. So in regular class, there's only a method, no attributes. So the method of the regular class is public get student type method, then public compute p method. And then next is the private discount rate. So this is the attributes of the scholar student. And then the method is public get student type, then public get discount rate, then public compute fee.
Arti Barbaran, and I'll be explaining to you the learning management system. The learning management system contains 3 array lists, 1 for instructor, 1 for course, and 1 for student. It also contains duplicate ID checkers. And what the duplicate ID checkers do is they look through the list and check if an object with the same ID already exists. This is down to the instructor, the course, and the student array list. And then we have the add methods. Add instructor, ah, the add instructor, add course, and add student. Before anything added, two things are validated. Is the object null? And is the ID already taken? If either one fails, it prints an error and stops right there. Simple as that. Now then, the relationship management. This is the relationship management, and this is where it gets a bit more layered. So the class actually splits into two levels. The first level is the one-way methods, something like the link course to instructor, just sets the
Hello class,
instructor
last
on the course
55
side.
minutes
That's
to
it.
finish this. Again, at exactly 12:55, you have to turn on your camera. Dun sa mga tapos na mag-record, paki-turn on na po yung camera.
That's it. One side, one job, and there's a matching set of unlinked methods that each reverse one of those. These are the unlinked methods. Now, the second level is the two-way methods. These are the ones that you actually call from the outside, which are the assigned courses, assigned course, the enroll course, the remove student from course, and remove course from from instructor. These are where the real logic lives. They validate the inputs, handle the edge cases, and then call the one-way methods to update both sides. So, for example, if you assign a course to an instructor but it already has one, it doesn't just crash. It warns you, removes the old instructor, and then reassigns, or if a student already enrolled and you try to enroll them again, it blocks it because a student can only be in one course at a time. And then, the display side. There's a set of small print utility methods for formatting, things like dividers, section titles, and banners, and then the actual display methods that loop through the registry and print everything. Which courses each instructor handle, which students are in the course, and each student's enrollment status with their computed fee. So, to wrap it all up, the class runs on three clean layers: registry management, relationship logic, and display. Each one builds on the last, every method does exactly one thing, and together they hold the whole system together. That is the learning management system, and thank you for listening.
Dangal greetings, I'm Dilapus Josephine May, and today I will explain the student class. The student class is our parent class. So, this Java codes defines a student class which serves as a blueprint for student object. It's a great example of encapsulation, keeping data safe, and provides a foundation for inheritance, acting as a parent class. So, our class attributes is the private int ID, private string name, private course enrolled course. So, these variables are hidden from outside classes to protect the data. ID and name store the student's identity. Enrolled course, this is a reference type. Instead of just sorting a string, it stores an entire course object, establishing a relationship between a student and a course. Our constructor with a validation, the public student int ID string name, if name is equals to null, and or name at trim at is empty. Throw new illegal argument exception if ID is less than equals 0. Throw new illegal argument exception. This at ID is equals ID, this at name is equals to name, and this at enroll course is equals to null. This block initializes the object when you use new student. Validation, it includes fail pass checks if you try to create a student with a blank name or a negative ID. The program throws an error immediately rather than allowing bad data into the system. This at enrolled course is equals to null. New student starts without a course by default. And next is the getters and setters. The public int get ID return ID is getters for the int get ID. And the public string get name return name. Public course get enrolled course return enrolled course. Public void set enrolled course course is this at enrolled course it equals to course. Since the variables are private, these methods provide a controlled way for other parts of the program to read or update the student's information. And next is public boolean is enrolled. So this is the logic and computation methods. And public double compute p if enrolled course is equals to null, return 0.0. Return enrolled course at get base p. Is enrolled is a helper method that returns true if the student has a course assigned. Compute p, this demonstrates delegation instead of the student class knowing how much a course costs it as the enrolled course object for its get base p. Next is the string format, which is the override method. Override public string to string return get name plus id equals plus get id get student type and the public string get format p. So override to string change how the object is printed. System out println student will now show the name and id instead of a memory address. String at format ensures the p looks professional. Example, 5000.00 by rounding to 2 decimal places. And next is the display methods. Yan. Sa display methods, public void print student line, public void print enrolled course line, public void print p line. These methods handle the output of the class. They use system out println to display format information to the console. They check is enrolled method to decide whether to print the course name or a none not enrolled message, preventing null pointer exception errors. So the summary of the code is this class is designed to be extensible because getStudentType is a separate method. A subclass like scholar student or regular student could override that one method to change how the student identifies themselves without rewriting the whole class. That's all. Thank you.
Danga greetings. My name is Yasim Barques and I'm gonna explaining about the first class in our program. So first, we need an import. So we import an array list so that we can store the student later. Then we have some attributes and we declared it as private so that we can encapsulate it later and it will be protected. First attribute is int id. Next, string title. So title is the name of the course. Int lesson, so how many lessons? So it's int. Then here we have final double. So we use double so that it can be changed. So it will become constant. So right per lesson cost 120. Next, this one. So we need this for a relationship in association. So meaning um, each courses have one instructor. Next is for the aggregation. Um, we need this to store the students. So the course referencing to the student. Next is for the constructor. So our constructor have three parameters: int id, string title, and int lesson. So this constructor po have error handling. So that if the user type a wrong input, it will throw an error message. So first, this error handling, the ID must be positive number. So if it's negative, it will throw a message. This. Next, this. So these errors do, it checks if the title is null or empty. So if it's empty or null, it will throw a message. Next is this. So this error handling um, filter the lesson. So the lessons need to be one or more. If it's zero or below, it will throw an error message. So this, we assign value to the constructor. So we use this. This light blue color indicates or points out to this class attributes, and this darker blue points to this in the instructor. So it's the same for the other. Is na title lesson. So the blue indicates to the class attributes, and then the darker blue indicates to the parameter attributes. So next, structure. So we assign it as a null so that we assume that um, there is no instructor assigned yet. And then the student start as empty. So the student don't have any and the course don't have any student. So it start as empty. Next, we need getters, of course, because we use private attributes. So get ID, get title, and then get lesson. Next is get instructor, and then this is we're gonna set where we set the instructor. So we use a method called set instructor that have a parameter of instructor. So this one is what we declared here. And then get base fee. So this is a computation. So get base fee, so rate per lesson is 120, and then it will be times or multiplied by the how many lessons it is. So if it's 2 or for example 2, if you multiply 120 to 2, it will be 240 and so on. Next is get student. This method do um, get the students by it index. So it return or display the student. Next is the add student. So this is where we add a student in our array list. So next next method is remove student. So this remove the student to the our array list. So we use that remove method to remove a student. Next is to override. So this one override a built-in string. So instead of instead of address, it will converts the objects to the text. So we use it for printing. So next is for the course label. This gets the it returns this overrided to string. So that this will be the label, and this will override that to string built into string method. Next is get instructor name. So this is a method if the instructor exists is not null, so meaning it must have a value. So if it true, it will return the instructor name. Next, if it's the instructor is null, it will return unassigned, meaning there is no instructor assigned to the course. Next is itong printing method. So print course title line. So this one, it prints the course title. Next is this method, print course instructor line. So this prints the instructor, and yes, the instructor, who it is, or what's the name of the instructor. And next is the printing of the student list. So it prints all the student, and there is also an error handling. So if the student is empty or the array list is empty, it will throw an error message saying that there is no student enrolled. So that's all for the course class. Thank you.
Dangal greetings. I'm Ronald Marbicanayo and I'm going to explain the instructor class. First is this import java.util.array list. This line imports Java built-in array list class, which is resizable list it needs because the instructor will hold a dynamic list of courses that can grow or shrink. Next is class instructor and the three attributes or field. These are three pieces of data every instructor object stores. ID is a unique numeric identifier. Name is the instructor full name, and courses is a list of course object assigned to them. All three are marked private, meaning only code inside this class can access them directly. Next is this instructor. This is the constructor, the method that runs when you create a new instructor object. It accepts an ID and name as input and set up the object. It also contains two valid checks, ID validation. If the ID is 0 or negative, it immediately throws an error with a descriptive message because ID must be positive. Name validation. If the name is null, empty, or just white space, it throws an error as well, since every constructor must have a real name. If both inputs are valid, it assigns them to the fields and initialize courses as new empty array list. And next is the getters. The getter methods. These three methods provide read-only access to provide fields or attributes. Since the fields are private, outside code can't access them directly. These getters are the control window to retrieve the instructor ID, name, and course list. Next is add course method. This method adds a single course object to the instructor's course list. It only updates the instructor own list. It does not touch the course object itself. And next is the remove course method. This method removes a specific course from the instructor list. Like add course, it only modifies the instructor's side of the relationship. Next is the toString override. This overrides Java default toString method to produce a clean, readable text representation of the instructor. For example, Dr. Smith ID equals 101. The override annotation signals that this is intentionally replacing the default behavior inherited from Java-based object class. Next, print instructor header. This prints a labeled header line to the console showing the instructor name and ID. Using the toString method defined above, it's useful for display reporting purposes. Next is the print course list method. And this method print all courses assigned to the instructor. If the list is empty, it displays a friendly message saying no courses are assigned. Otherwise, it loops through each course in the list and it prints it using the course own toString method with a dash prefix for formatting. And next, I'm going to explain the main method. The first one is learning management system, short for LMS, and this creates a single instance of the learning management system, the central system that manages all instructor, courses, and student. All operation throughout the program go through this LMS object. Next one is this create instructors, and the two instructor object are created with unique IDs and name. They are they are then registered into the LMS using add instructor method, making the system aware of them so they can be assigned courses later. Next is the create courses. Three course objects are created, each with an ID, a name, and third value, likely the maximum number of students or the number of units. They are then added to the LMS so they can be assigned to instructors and open for student enrollment. Next is assign course to instructors. This links each course to its handling instructor. Prof. Santos is assigned 2 courses, Java programming and web development. While Prof. Reyes handles data analytics, the LMS methods manages both sides of this relationship. And next one is create students. 3 students are created, 2 regular students object and 1 scholar student. The difference in type matters later when computing fees. A scholar likely receive a discount or different rate. All 3 are registered into LMS. Next is enroll student in courses. Each student is enrolled into a specific course. Juan and Maria both join Java programming, while Anna joins data analytics. The LMS handles linking the student to the course and vice versa. Next is table case 1. Display courses handled by each instructor. This case prints a labeled header and lists every instructor along with the courses assigned to them. It verifies that the course to instructor assignment in step 5 were recorded correctly. Next is table case 2. Display student enrolled in each course. This test case shows each course and the student currently enrolled in it. It confirms that the enrollment from step 7 are properly stored on the course side. Next is table case 3. Display each student enrolled course and fee. This test case display each student's enrolled course along with their computed tuition fee. Since Juan and Anna are regular student and Maria is scholar student, this is where the different fee calculation between student type become visible. Next is test case 4. Maria Lim from Java Programming. Remove Maria Lim from Java Programming. This test case unenrolls Maria Lim from Java Programming after removal. Display student enrollment status method is called to confirm she is no longer enrolled in any course, verifying that the removal was handled correctly on both the student and course side. Last one is test case 5. Remove web development from Prof. Santos. This test case unassigned the web development course from Prof. Santos. Afterward, display instructor courses after removal method prints Prof. Santos updated course list, confirming he now only handled Java programming and that removal was successful. And that's all.
Dangal greetings, I'm Justin Abscana. So in this video, I'm gonna discuss about the child class of the student class, which is the regular class, a regular student class, and then the scholar student class. So first is the regular student class. So in this class, there's a constructor that inherit the ID and the name of the student, which is this constructor. And then next is this method, which is the get student type. So this method is only return the regular student, so it only gets the student type, which is the regular student. Next is the public compute fee. Public compute fee. So this method is check if the student is enrolled in the course. If no course enrolled, the return is 0, so no fee. And if the if there's a course, in returns there's a full base fee of the course. So that is the purpose of this method. And then next is the scholar student class, child class. So there's also a constructor which is the ID and name. So it inherits the ID and name in the student class. Next, there's also a get student type. So this method is inherits also in the student class, which is it returns scholar student. Next is the public this get discount rate. So and then this get discount rate, it returns the discount rate value, which is 30%, and then this is the discount rate, which is the 0.30. So this is the attributes of the scholar student class: private static final double discount rate. So this is the final because it can't be changed. The discount rate is only 30%. And then next is the compute fee, same as the regular class. This is also a inherit method in the student. So if the student is not enrolled, it returns 0, and if enrolled, get a base fee and apply a discount.